Asher and Penman on W4CY Radio.
This is the Pipeman here on the Adventures of Pipeman W4CY Radio, and I'm excited about this next interview we got with some crazy good musicians and some great stuff we're going to talk about. So let's welcome to the show Rich and Marty from the Freddy Jones Band.
What's up, man?
So
What's going on?
My first question I have to ask, and I already know the answer, but I have to ask just for shits and giggles, is how come Freddy's not on this interview?
Oh, man. I knew that was coming. You know, a funny thing, that this reminds me, a funny thing about that, when we were, starting out on Capricorn Records and first going out and starting to tour around and having to visit radio stations every morning, and they put a press release out ahead of time telling people, whatever you do, don't ask them about the name of the band. So what did they? And so think about how genius that is. They thought, they're like, oh, the guys will think that we're trying to look out for them. Meanwhile, it's genius. What does it do?
Totally.
Everyone asks the question. And so there we were. There's the real story, and then there's all the stories we told. And
that's the part I love, is the story, because I never ask about band names. Okay, I know better than that. I have too many friends that are in bands that like it's the worst question ever. Yeah. But I just think it's so funny that you have a band with the name of somebody, and everybody thinks that person's famous, and it's not even anybody in the band.
Yeah, it was a college joke. There was a band before us, and they named the band after a buddy of theirs that wasn't in the band. So he was big man on campus, and these guys, they were friends of ours, and they left, and it was our turn. So we just took it a step further, and we're like, well, let's just invent somebody, and everyone in town will be wondering who this person is. And so we thought that story was very boring. And so when people like you would ask us when we were out on tour, we would instead come up with all these outlandish stories. And it was the first Canadian to cross Lake Michigan in an inner tube. That was one of them. just the craziest stories.
So I go and I do a lot of festivals, and this one band, I said to them before the interview, I'm like, hey, I don't ask you stupid questions like how you got your band name. And they're going, well, you're lucky then, because you see that girl sitting next to you? We totally fuck with everybody that asks that, and we different story every time. And the story we told her, you had to see the look of horror on their face. And so this band, they're called August Burns Red. And so they're like, yeah, well, when we were teenagers, my sister, she got this dog. We named it August. We were out in the street partying. We thought it would be funny to light the dog on fire and watch it run down the street. Ergo, August Burns Red. And they're like, and we say it with a straight face, totally. And I'm like, that is the most brilliant shit ever. Because, like, I'm all for messing with press people that ask stupid questions, even if it's me.
Well, it's just so funny, especially when you read it in print. Like, you pull into town, you did a phoner ahead of time, and you're reading this crazy story, and you're like, oh my God, they printed it, you know?
Yeah, we had someone introduce us recently that read something. We can't update our Wikipedia because everybody changes it back. And he got up and he introduced us as a comic strip or whatever it says on there, which is complete BS. And then he was walking off. He said, did I do good? He was a famous radio DJ. And he said, did I do good? I said, dude, all that's wrong. But you did great. You know, and it will be a sound check. And the sound guy's always like, hey, can you get Fred? I'm like, Fred, who? You know, and Marty. I mean, his name's Marty, and they're like, the look of confusion. They're like, what? Fred? Who's Fred?
Oh man, that's. See, you have to have fun in this industry because playing music's fun, doing that stuff's fun. Everything else is probably shit. The rest is the business end of it. So yeah, you definitely have to, especially when you're doing a whole bunch of interviews. Like I know if I was an artist, like after the first or second time, I'd be like, fuck this. I'm just gonna fuck with people.
Yeah.
Well, you get a little loony out there. That's for sure. When we were playing 200 some dates a year and just on a bus, and I mean, we were like, we're basically a submarine crew out here. You know?
Right? Totally.
You start losing your mind. I mean, you really do.
And see, now you're a moon space crew.
Oh my God.
Like, oh my God, how does that happen?
I don't know. I really don't know.
I actually know how it happened. Somebody likes the band that's up there in space.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I saw. Like they requested your song. And it is such a cool song I think, to wake up to in space. Like if you're going to wake up in space to a song, that's a good song to wake up to.
Yeah.
Because you're out there, you're like daydreaming. Like can't be real when you're up there in space. Like it has to feel like a daydream for sure, or good drugs, one of the two. It can't be like I couldn't even conceive of being up there. So that's the perfect song right there, I think.
And I think it probably at that stage where they were, I read this, someone wrote something about it, and they said, what a great song to be looking back at Earth when they were around at that point, and the photos that were used for, the images for that third day, that morning, Friday. Yeah. And then I peeled the song off of Spotify, and you can choose which part of the song, and I chose kind of the outro, and I thought, it has a pretty vast feel to it, and so I got it, like, oh, I get it.
You guys are like the real life soundtrack to Star Trek.
I
thought it was
Marty
an April
today.
Fool's joke.
Oh, yeah.
I thought, my phone I started getting these texts like, hey, what's all this about? Those guys and the astronauts are listening to you in space. And I'm like, oh my God, who put an April Fool's joke up like a couple days ago?
God.
People are just getting around to like finding it or something. And then someone sends a link and like, are you kidding me? Like,
yeah.
I literally almost fell off the chair sitting next to a friend of mine. Like, you gotta be kidding me.
Right? It just blows my mind too that like this song isn't a brand new song. Like the fact that they pulled something out of your catalog from in a different century, that's incredible.
I think they're in the same age, bracket as, a lot of our fans. And, we have a very diverse audience. I mean, we're 35 and up, and, Marty and I are in our 50s. And, it was funny because Friday I was sitting at lunch, and the text message that I received says, from a number I didn't have in my phone, says, so cool that the astronauts are listening to In a Daydream. And I was like, what is this? And then I set my phone down, started having a conversation with my friend here in Nashville, and the phone just started buzzing and buzzing. And I look, and somebody sent the tweet, the NASA, and then I started to send it to Marty, and he sent it to me first. So it was happening. We were both at lunch on different parts of the U.S. and texting each other, and I was like, it was so unreal. I'm like, is this real? And then that's the messages I've gotten all weekend. You see the representatives of NASA talking about the song, and people are posting it saying, is this real? Because that's the crazy thing with AI.
You just never know.
Yeah, right? Exactly.
Wow. Like, so you didn't even really know until other people were telling you.
Yeah. And like, for some reason, maybe because of where the mission was, day 3 early on, it was something to talk about. Like, hey, they send music to the astronauts. It was just like a new kind of thing to talk about. And it's just, people were sending me videos of themselves watching CNN, and it wasn't just like they were talking about general music in general, there we were.
It,
The
I
media
agree with
really,
Marty on that.
they just kind of grabbed onto it, and it became this thing, like the nightly news and NBC. Like people were seeing it on global stuff, crazy.
I think we've had every rock star friend of ours reach out and say, "What
Yeah.
is this? What is going on?" And it's just so surreal. And
Right.
it's awesome. For Marty wrote this song when he was 18 years old or something. I mean, this is crazy. And we're still going. The band's out. We're out there. We go out and do fly dates now, and we're playing. And this is the song they come to see. So it's very special for us.
That's so cool. And then, of course, your latest single, I relate to a lot because I've made a lot of bank deposits that don't get withdrawals in Las Vegas. Okay.
Yeah. I saw the cover behind you, and that's a funny story in itself. And this song is so cool. And I don't know, Marty, tell them what it's really. I mean, this is
I want to
I
hear
get
the
my
story.
idea of what the song's about, and then Marty writes the lyrics. I'm like, hey, what is this really about? And he's like, oh, it's this. Then it makes sense.
Well, that song came from a batch of songs which before this one, a song Connected came out and a song called Mirror Ball. And these were all part of a group of songs that I was delivering for an album, and that for whatever reason we were going to tuck them away and use them for something else, a different kind of project. And then that never came to fruition. And Rich started reaching out to me kind of one at a time, like, hey, let's go back in and do another one. And then it came time to do another one. And we're like, he kept pressing me on this song. He's like, we got to do No Money in Vegas. He's like, we got to work that up. He's like, there's something there. And, the writing of it was really about, of all places to be with, you don't have much. It's a relationship thing.
Yeah.
You're looking out your hotel window at all of that glitz and all of the um all of that, and
Yeah.
you're perfectly happy without any of all that stuff because you got each other. That's really what it tries to capture.
I love that.
This whole
Because
thing came together in a month, by the way. Like
wow.
everything, the release of the song, everything. I mean, it was the song. I mean, Marty's demo is from years ago.
It's almost like you woke up from a daydream.
Yeah.
Oh.
And that girl on the front cover, everybody thinks that's AI. That's our friend Andrea Witt. She plays with Moby and Shania Twain, and she's a friend of mine that just happened to be on the phone with me one day, and somebody texted and said, "Man, we need a really good looking girl for the front cover."
Oh, she
And I
is
thought,
totally hot. She's whispering in
Check.
my ear as we're interviewing.
yeah,
Like she's telling me what to say to you guys.
literally, I was on the phone with her and I said, "Hey, do you have any photos that we could use?" And so that photo is actually just a photo that was taken backstage at a Moby
That's
show.
such a Vegas photo, though, right
Yeah.
there.
It's
And
perfect.
like that, you couldn't have like had her if you coached her done better. Like that.
It was perfect.
I love it. I love it. So now, how do you top all this? Like, there's a lot of 2026 coming.
Yeah.
You have some high bars to now top.
Well,
Pretty
there's always
crazy,
Mars.
right?
There's always
Yeah.
Mars.
Yeah. I mean, we are playing some shows this year.
Yeah.
So-
Well, I know one way to top it is that you just found out that you're playing Summerfest,
Yep.
right? In June. So that's pretty badass because
Yep,
that's a
June.
badass festival in Milwaukee.
We've played it a lot, and we have a great relationship with the Summerfest people, and they are fans of the band. They've been so supportive of us in every way. Our time slot this year is amazing. Saturday, I think we're at 7:30 p.m.
Oh my God, that's like prime time right there.
Yeah. Normally we play Thursday or Friday or something, but I mean that we've never had a bad Summerfest. It's incredible.
That's cool. Like
And
I love when
Marty
I
has
it's kind of still in that, the wheelhouse, the geographically it's in that zone. It's close enough to Chicago, and everyone goes up
Oh,
there.
totally.
Yeah.
Totally. And I always love to hear when artists praise festivals, because there's people that run good festivals and there's people that don't run good festivals. So I always like to hear when the artists like have nothing but good things to say, because if you treat the artist right, I think that's when when a festival is a success.
Yeah, they've been not only wonderful to us. I mean, it's tough. We're an independent band the past 11 years.
Yeah.
And to get on some of those festivals, you have to have that big management or that agent that's got the pull. And we can go with any band. I mean, we could play with rock bands, we could play with anyone. I mean, we definitely take this serious, and we're excited about it. We go there to rock out. I mean, bands changed a lot since the initial In a Daydream song.
Right.
But without that song, we wouldn't be here right now. And I know it, and I think Marty knows it. And
Well, every band has that song, right? There's at least that one song that everybody just remembers, and everybody's like, they associate you with that song. Or I love when I'm at festivals and I'm with people that they're like, oh, I didn't know they played that song.
Sure.
Like Incubus, that's one of those bands that I've been with people, and it's like every song that comes on, oh, that's Incubus. Oh, that's Incubus. And it's like, I don't know, 10 different songs they'll say that about. And I'm like, see, that to me, that is a great song, because like people just never forget it. Whether they forget who it is or not, it doesn't matter. They just don't forget the song. And that's what's cool. And now you're up in space. Like, I don't know. I'm sure you guys are on cloud nine when you started hearing that after the confusion settled and you realized it was real.
Yeah, somebody said, for that one day, man, we might have been the most talked about band on the planet for one day.
So actually, our publicist said, I think you are the most famous or most talked about, band in the past 24 hours ever. I mean,
I could tell you when I got the email.
Turned on. Yeah, every news I turned on talked about us. I was like, what is this a dream? There we go.
And then I got the email from Sean, and I'm like, you don't even have to ask me. Go ahead, book it. Like, it's just such a cool story. How many bands can you interview that their music was played on the way to the moon? Just saying. Yeah. I've done over 3,000 interviews. I think this is the first.
I sang the national anthem at Wrigley Field in 2017 that summer, and it was 4th of July weekend. And I was in the middle of singing that song. And I thought to myself, because they'd won the World Series the year before. And I thought to myself, in the middle of singing it, I'm like, how many people can say that they've sang this anthem for the world champion Chicago Cubs? And I'm thinking, in 108 years, only the people that are doing it this summer. And so this feels so similar to that, but on obviously a scale that's like.
Well, and then Wrigley Field, I mean, like, I'm a Yankee person and I'm still like, giving props because it's Wrigley Field. Like, there's certain fields, I don't care what team, there's certain fields, if you sang at that field, that's iconic. And Wrigley is one of them, for sure.
Yeah. So.
It was amazing. We did the first pitch there as well. And I think we're doing something this year for them. Some of the people there and the owner of the Cubs, Mr. Ricketts, is a fan of the band, which is really cool.
Nice. Now, see, I was a pitcher for 9 years, and if I had to throw the first pitch, I'd probably be so afraid that I was going to beam the umpire or some fan in the stands, because I was like, it's a whole different story, like pitching in a game compared to being called out to pitch the first pitch where the whole world is watching. I'd be like...
You know what's funny?
I'd throw it behind me.
When we walked out there onto the field, And I looked at where the mound is when you're standing out there and looked at where the catcher was.
Yeah.
I go, Marty, can you throw that far? I was like,
Oh my
Right?
God.
that's a long ways.
It is a long ways.
I'm standing there on the third base line, like looking over at it. I'm like, that's nothing, man. I don't see the big deal with this at all. And our guy Max, who runs all the field activities, comes over to me and he's like, "So have you been practicing and everything? You know, because I had sang the anthem before that, the summer before, and I was terrified. I mean, I was absolutely shaking, terrified before. But this time I was like, oh, that's nothing, you know. He's like, well, have you been practicing? I said, what do you mean? Practicing what? He's like, the pitch. Have you been practicing throwing a baseball? I'm like, oh, I haven't thrown a baseball since I was a kid. He's
Oh,
like,
man.
oh my God. He's like, I'll be right back. And he runs over to the bucket of balls and grabs a ball and throws it to me. He's like, okay, I'm gonna run down there and you're gonna throw it to me. And I whipped it at him. And he's like, oh my God, thank God. You know. But I got out there on the mound. They announce it. I walk out there and I looked at home plate and I'm like, you gotta be, I'm shaking my head at the guy like, you gotta be kidding me. That's so far. And he's like, go ahead. You know, I got it to him. It was all right. But
Nice.
Yeah, he did it. He flung it. I was impressed, man. He flung it.
Yeah, man, that would be like one of the most nerve-wracking experiences. And it's funny for people like us saying this because, you know, with the things that we do, you would think we're always nervous and stuff like that. Or we would never be nervous for something like that because we're so used to getting on stage or getting on mic. Fuck no, man. I'd be like, I hope I don't throw this ball behind me.
I talk about that all the time. People think, oh, well, you're on stage in front of people like all the time, so you must be great at public speaking. And I'm like, no. You don't understand. That's like scripted. It almost feels like you're hiding behind the music on stage, and it's just going through you. You just
you go in a zone. You go in a zone, like.
Yeah.
Just like me, anytime I go onto the mic, or I am a public speaker. Anytime I get up on stage and I'm doing speaking, right before I get on stage, man, I'm like, I don't know what I'm going to say. I'm going through my head, blah, 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 blah. And then as soon as the mic turns on, like some switch turns on in my brain and I'm in a zone. And then I get off and you'll recognize this. I'm like, man, I really sucked saying it in my head. And people are coming up to me, oh, that was really good. That was really good. Yeah. I'm like, really? Yeah. I think people don't realize that. Like most of the musicians I've been friends with have the worst stage fright ever. Like my bro that was a head engineer at my station here, he was in a country rock duo. He was in a metal band in the 80s. And I used to go and have to pre-game with him before every gig because that's the only way he could get himself to not have stage fright to get up there. And he was really good. But, you know, I think we're all our own worst critics is what it comes down to.
For sure.
It's funny. The only time I remember us having stage fright a little, Marty, was remember when we were doing the iHeart thing with Macklemore? And there was like this big long delay. We're standing there waiting to play one song.
Oh, see, that would suck.
Marty and I got together and Marty goes, are you nervous? I go, for some reason I am a little, because it's like, what?
Because you're not just walking out on stage. Now you were ready to go and wait, hold on. So I could totally see that.
It happened to me, I don't know, a few summers ago. And it was Big Head Todd and the Monsters. It was us and the Samples. And it was at Levitt Pavilion in Denver. And kind of unexpectedly, you know, our three bands got together and we realized that we hadn't done this, the three of us, in so many years. And kind of unexpectedly, like thousands and thousands of tickets sold and it sold out. And I'm standing there on stage and I didn't really recognize what it was. And I'm like, I feel kind of weird, and this is a really funny, weird feeling. And I'm like, oh, I'm nervous. This is stage fright, you know.
Oh, that's what that is.
Yeah, it happened. So
you played it off good, dude. I didn't even know.
See, there it is. There it is. Well, you guys rock. I love all this. I love all that you're doing right now. Everybody's got to go check out your website, the new song. everything you got going on, your tour dates. You got a few dates coming now, and then
We have a ton
more
of dates coming. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're announcing a ton of stuff for the summer and fall. So it's going to be awesome.
So everybody, make sure you keep up with these guys, because if not, you can't listen to my show. Love it. Thanks a lot for being on the Adventures of Pipe Man.
Thanks for having us.
Appreciate you. Thank you so much.
Thank you for listening to the Adventures of Pipe Man on W4CY Radio.